I'm an academic and a journalist, and this is the Crimson Butterfly Remake demo from Koei Tecmo. This is a remake of the 2003 Project Zero Fatal Frame game. I'm going to be walking through my first LoreTalk today. I run a Substack called The Gaming Lorist, and I am a theology and religious studies academic with a focus in anime, manga, media, and Shinto and Buddhist practices. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the demo, which should take about 30 minutes. But we're also going to see what we can go and do before we actually do the demo. I've been playing the press code, so I've had a look around. I know what to look for. This is just seeing what Koei Tecmo have patched in, because obviously this is their second big release in as many weeks, with Neo 3 coming out, where they gave a very, very, very generous demo, which was much appreciated. It wasn't time locked. You could do quite a lot of the game, and obviously it transfers over. So I'm now sitting at the demo screen. So we are going to go and enter into our new game. I am just going to check though, because I prefer to play with the demo language set to display for English and the audio set to Japanese. I haven't tested this, and I'm going to put this up as a private stream first and then tweak with it later. So I'm basically talking to myself at this point, which is always good. First off, this is the start screen. This is Kuraha Shrine. This is somewhere that we can probably take a look at in the demo. But as you can see, we've got this really, like, absolutely dilapidated shrine. We've got talismans on the left-hand side here, which usually means they're trying to stop something. Also, right in the background there, you can see the sacred mirror, and then you can see the sacred streamers lit by the candles. So this was once a sacred space. Unfortunately, it's been left. But we'll get to that in a minute. So we're going to start a new game. Start on story, because I don't like playing hard mode. And I'm here for the story primarily. Now, I've been playing this for a couple of weeks. I'm currently in the main game. I've got the stream key and a PS key, which was kindly provided by Koei Tecmo. I always appreciate getting press code. Right, so we're going to go straight into the game and the first movie.
いつも約束してたよね。ずっと一緒だって。
Ah, the nostalgia.
お姉ちゃん、お姉ちゃん。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
This is Mio, our protagonist. And this is Mayo, her sister.
よくここで遊んだよね。そうだね。
Sorry, I also have a cold, which doesn't help. I love this. It's so beautiful, but it's so like the original game, which was one of my personal favourites. Ah yes, the bandage. That's not for her, that's for us, so we know that she's got a problem. And here's our first Crimson Butterfly. This is Akami. We'll get to that in a sec. Oh dear.
お姉ちゃん、私ね、あの時。お姉ちゃん?
I feel bad. She's really guilty about Anotoki that time. Even though I don't think she did anything wrong. It's not like she actually tried to push her. I will be here in the Amakura Mayo did nothing wrong. So, but as you can see, Mayu is being led by this butterfly. And this is very important, the stone, which we'll try to the This is where everything goes wrong. And that is Kurosawa Yai. Well, actually, technically that's Kurosawa Sai. We'll get to meet Yai in a second. Yep, you did wrong. Sorry, I always get twins mixed up in this game. Alright, she's calling her sister One-chan, which is basically an honourable elder sister. O just means really polite. You'll also see it in religious sites as go, but O Nichan is basically, it means elder sister, she's being polite. So, here we are. Mayo has some quite... Well, actually, both the twins have some really nice outfits in game. It's very much a kind of a thing of this series. So if you complete the game, you get shiny outfits. You can also, apparently, according to the manual I saw yesterday, buy the outfits using points, which makes sense because whenever you shoot things with the camera, you gain points and you can use those for stickers and other such stuff. We won't get much into that today. This is all about just doing a walk, actually. So there is a spot I want to talk about in a second, so we're just going to run forward here. You can access the photo mode from now, which is nice, but we're going to have a look at that in a sec because we've got something we need to take a peek at. This is just the basic, here's how to navigate the world. I will say, I love the original game because of how it phrases stuff and how it shows things off. But here you need to do a bit more like proactive stuff. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to stand. Just back up a little bit and we're going to activate the photo mode. This is a cool thing. I like it because it means I can zoom into stuff. Okay, this is a Dosojin. It's a boundary stone. Basically, stepping past this is what has brought the girls from their nice, realistic world into the world of the Lost Village, Minakami Mura. This is interesting because obviously this is pinwheels. Pinwheels in Japan are very important. Anyone who's played Sekiro will have seen these quite a lot because they're on Senpou Temple. Now, a pinwheel is I've got to pronounce this. Okay, Kazagurigum. Bollocks. I can't pronounce with a cold. Okay, try again. Kazaguruma. There we go. I can't pronounce shit when I've got a cold. I'm sorry. Basically, these are child's toys, but they're also important. They symbolise rebirth. They symbolise the cycle because they spin. They're also often found near children. Like you might see them next to Jesus statues, which is what you see in Sekiro. They're up on Mount Kongo near the temple complex, and there's loads of them, and they're right next to Jesus statues. We'll be talking about Jesus in a minute. I just want to go a bit closer to this. So basically, normally in Japan, you'll see a lot of these Sojin. I've seen them only a couple of times because they are quite rare. They're a thing of an older time. I saw one at Kunisaki Onsen. Basically, what makes these different is they have twins on them, which is quite important. Now, as you can see, you've got a twin on the left here. You've got a rope connecting the two, which is the red string of destiny. And then you've got a headless twin on the other. So this is basically symbolising as a nice early nod, the start of the whole Crimson ritual, which anyone who plays the original game will know. It's where twin A, usually the younger, kills the elder in our parlance, but in the parlance of Minakami, it's the older who kills the younger because they have a specific belief system about who gets burned first. So basically, the twin on the left is the twin that does the murder, the twin on the right is the one who dies, and then, according to the legend, the twin that gets thrown into the hellish abyss, the gate to hell, will then come back as a crimson butterfly, which is what we've seen leading the girls into the village. We'll be back with them in a minute. So, I'm going to need to grab a glass of water in a sec. Let me just grab that, because otherwise I won't be able to talk for the next 30 minutes. My plan for this series is basically to go through the full game. I'll do it, put it live on YouTube until I figure out how to do Twitch, and then I will talk about stuff as we go. This will accompany actual physical written articles on my site as well. Oh, much better. I've been doing site like Shinto folklore Buddhist articles of late on explaining concepts. I'm also going to do one where I explain Shinto and Buddhism using games, so kind of like the reverse, because I don't want to just keep repeating myself. So, right, let's stand up and go into the village. Okay, the next point of reference is this lovely torii gate. Now, in Shinto, torii gates are basically spaces that say, this is now divine, and we'll get to the rocks in a sec. As you can see, this one is absolutely broken, so it's not... this is Kurosawa Yai. We feel bad for her. She is not stepping under this gate for a very good reason. And here's the butterfly. I firmly believe this is her sister. or a form of her. This torii gate is knackered, so it's basically leading straight into the Lost Village rather than taking you to a nicer, more safe divine realm. You see these in front of Shinto shrines, Jinja, where basically you're supposed to walk under one side, the left or the right, not the middle. The middle is where the kami go. And then bow. She's not doing that, but it's still important because that is another way of saying you've just entered a rather nasty place. And there's a sister. Ah, yes. The butterflies. So I counted these, and this says there's like 16 of them. So that means we know of at least 16 people who died. So 16 set of twins, with one dying and one remaining. Okay. This particular area is very important to the Minakami faith. This is what I'm going to be calling it because it's not Shinto, it's not Buddhism, it's a weird local version. This is one of the nice new features for the game. You can basically take Mia's hand. We will in a sec. Now this is a Imakura, a set of sacred rocks. There's these 5 rocks, which I like to think symbolize the 5 main families in town. The Tachibana, the Kuru, the the Kurosawa, the Ōsaka, and there's one other smaller family we don't really talk about much, but we'll get to them later. And then in the centre is this plug stone. Underneath this plug stone is the gate to hell. So those butterflies have basically just flown from the gate to hell below. We won't see this in the demo, but we will see this in the main game. I just think it's a lovely foreshadowing of the end is where you begin, and the begin is where you start to find the end. So we're going to take Maya's hand now, and we're going to take her down to the village. This is good because actually it helps with your health. So if you just fought a ghost, it's a good way to get your health back. She's talking about a Matsuri, which is a festival. And it's supposed to be a thing of joyful celebration. Here, it's a celebration of the festival where they kill each other. It's important, but it's also got a very dark undertone. So this is the village proper. In front of us on the left here is did you see the spirit? The spirit of Suda Miyako. There she is. Ooh, this still gives me shivers 20 years later. I find it interesting because the Ōsaka House does have electric light. And that's... I'm still working on the timeline. There is an official one. So basically the game is open world, but it gets split into chapters. So that we're basically playing the full amount of chapter 1. As you can see, it really wants us to go in there. We're not gonna. We're gonna have a look-see. Because the village itself is, like, available to have a look around if you know where you're going. So we've got another one of the Dosojin here with candles. Let's pull up the map. So this is where we are. So we're going to fill in some of this just as a way to have a look around. Because I don't just want to play the inside, I want to look at the lore. So let's go this way. Oh dear. I have a cold and it sucks, but I can still play. So we'll be able to enter this section later. This is where Itsuki is currently stuck. The game has a tendency to lock things until you need to get access to them. So, but that's fine. He's locked in here, so he's the white-haired guy that we've seen in the trailers. He's a very nice chap, but he had a very, very, very bad time, so he's now basically going to help us later on. So we've got various, like, some of the buildings are okay, most of them are very, very knackered. Some of them, like, for example, will have bonus stuff in, like film, and certain areas that you can only open later on. You do get the torch, which does help a bit, but we're only kind of briefly running around here just to get the idea of the place. Because there's 2 places I want to take you to that I know we can access now. Once we have the actual torch, it's going to be a bit easier. So, right, we're going to go to Kuroha Shrine first. This is the entrance to the Kiryu House, which we can get into later on, once in the proper game. I like this game because it has a very kind of like open, but you need to unlock things first. So, first off, we're going to go to the shrine. It's up this hill here. I will turn on the photo mode so you can get a better look. We've got several spaces here. First off, we have a load of Jizo statues. Let me turn on the photo mode so you can actually see them. So, here are the Jizo. Jizo are basically local saints slash demigods of Buddhist origin. They are specifically associated with children, children's mortality. Effectively like the patron saint of children, because obviously mortality in the pre-modern era was absolutely awful. Kids would be born stillborn, so they fell into Jizo's care, or they would die early on in life. As a result, a lot of Japanese kids got some really terrible childhood names as a way of warding off death. Like, lots of use of shit in a sentence. Jizo is basically protector here, but we've also got these twin effigies, which we'll talk about in a minute. Here we have the eponymous Torii Gate. This one's in better nick, but it is still in, like, a really bad state. That nameplate in the center should say Kuraha Shrine. Kuraha Jinja. I don't know if we meet Kurahara in this game. She appeared in the remake, which I have not played, because it's a Wii game. Also over here, we have this ginormous camphor tree. Camphor trees are very important in Japan. They are very, very sacred. And as you can see down the bottom here, this one looks like you could probably squeeze into it, which is going to be important. Anyone who knows the game will know what I'm talking about. But then we've got these two sacred rocks with the Shimawara and the rope, the Shide and the streamers, which is very important. So that's saying this is sacred. We don't know why now. We don't need to know why now. But the fact is, it's there. So Kami like hills. They like to be above things so they can look down. It's like an earth form of looking down from the heaven. So, you know, most places will have a Shinto shrine. This one is very knackered, as we're going to see. So, there isn't much we can actually do around here. We can run around the back, but there's only, like, I don't think there's even anything we can pick up here. So, I do love this because, look, we've got... we have the butterfly, which is a motif in the village for obvious reasons. Oh, dear. Within the remake, Kuraha is a remaining herself, so she has white hair, and she didn't kill her sister. Her sister died at birth, so she was a remaining by default. But I just love the iconography here. Two sisters, two sides of the butterfly. So let's see if we can get in. We should be able to get in. We cannot get in. Okay. Imagine that if we can get in, that what I showed you on the demo screen, that's what's inside. Let's see if we can get in to the temple. I hope we can, because I've got an article that I'm putting up later today that I really, really want to put up, because it shows you how to get in, and it shows you how to have a look around. So we'll have a quick look. And then we'll do the actual proper demo. Oh dear, I do apologise, I didn't intend to get a cold, and it's annoying. So we're going to go left here, and then we're going to have a look down this way. I've got a watermill, which is very important to themes of... I like the fact that both the religious sites here are very much on little, like, micro sections of town, little spaces away from everything else. As you can see, let me pull up the photo mode again. So, yeah, this is a very Buddhist space. As you can see, it's got a different kind of nameplate. This is very in keeping with Chinese buildings. It basically just says Ikido. Ikido means Eki Hall. Do just is hall. The kanji, the first kanji is a very old one, which basically speaks of metal and rock. The second one is the sound, and the third one is just the hall. So, I don't actually know why it's named this. There's not really much by way of lore. Now, I know we can't get in from this side, but there's a chance if we creep under the bottom here. I have auto crouch set because I don't like playing with having to do it manually. So, we're going to creep behind here. I hope we can get in because I think it's an absolutely gorgeous space. I came here in chapter 2 once you're released from the house, so I know that you can in fact get in at a later point. It's just the question is, can you do it this end of the demo? I understand why they kept the demo off when they did, but I would have liked a bit more, a smaller chance to maybe run around and meet Itsuki properly. Honestly, if you've played the original game, nothing is going to be a surprise here to you at all, because it is a remake. So it's not a remake trying to be different, it's a remake trying to be a remake. Alright, let's see if we can. Huzzah! We can get in! That means I can put my article up later. Hey, good. I thought we could. Okay, so we can go through the main entrance later, but basically you need to get a certain lens to get in. So you can see the statues. I am going to turn on the thing. So first off, we're just going to talk about this doll here. Dolls are very, very important. They're called ningyo in Japanese culture. This one is wearing a lovely kimono. It's also important because obviously anyone who's played the game will remember the doll makers, the Kiryu family. So, yeah, these are very lovely but very creepy. So basically, now we're inside, we can go downstairs. So, there's not really much in here, to be honest. It's quite a small, compact building. So first off, we've got these masks on the walls here, as you go all the way down. Now, I'm not sure what they're here for. I don't know what they represent. They're masks from No. They might just be a reference back to the other games. The first game had quite a lot of these. And, you know, they are quite creepy. They look kind of... I don't know. I'm genuinely not sure what they're doing. But you've got some here that look like they've come out of No, out of, like, drama and plays. So we've got this main section here where you just... This is just the door out of the front, basically. Which we can't use right now because it's locked. So you can open this. I haven't managed to find a way to get ghosts to spawn in here during this act. I think you can later, but for now... So this is the main worship. This is a Buddhist space. This is not a Shinto space. You can tell by all these candles. I'm going to switch to photo mode just so I can bump up the colour a little bit. Because then we can talk about stuff. Right. This is bumped up too much, but you get the general gist of it. So, okay, here we have the altar space. We have this urn, which is a censer. We've got some incense. The idea is that smoke is used in Buddhism in the same way that water is used in Shinto. It's purification. So you buy these, you waft them around yourself, you're purified. We've got one set of rope here, which is binding the statues to the space. If you don't crank the colour up quite as much as I did, you can see this is almost like a dried blood red as opposed to a red red. We've also got these flowers, which are primarily lotuses. So, you know, this sense of spirituality, of blooming, of spiritual growth. We've got the candles. These cloths are basically to hide the statue, to kind of give this sense that you've veiled the sacred. So we have two bodhisattvas here, two twin deities. They are the same asset, they're flipped, it's fine. We've got them standing, they remind me of canon, honestly, because of the iconography. They're standing in these lotus flowers, which is quite a common thing for Juichimen canon, which is the 11-headed canon. She's a single figure, but she has 11 heads, and she's often seen doing this. So we've got the twins themselves. They're holding staves. These are Buddhist staves. They're often called pewter staves. And basically you shake them and they make a noise. The idea is that you're trying to dispel Maya illusion, or you're trying to scare off small animals that you might otherwise stomp on or accidentally kill, because obviously Buddhism has the 8 precepts and the things you don't know. You don't get intoxicated, you don't eat meat, you don't harm living beings. Now, the interesting part for me is obviously these look like canon, but they're also, they give me like kind of more female, like a way to do them. They're not quite androgynous, but they're I would look at them, given what I know of the village, that female twins are the focus for the sacrifice. So I find it very interesting. Now we've got these two. They are connected together by rope. This is the red string of fate, the red string of destiny, that basically links them together. Normally it works for lovers, not really siblings, but it does work well in the game because obviously you can see that they're bound together. And that's very important because obviously the two twins are going to do the thing in the ceremony. Um, they've also got just standard bodhisattva robes, so I'm not sure. Honestly, I wonder what came first because obviously there's two schools of Shinto. One which says that Kami took incarnation as Buddhas in order to promote Shinto outside of Japan, and then there's the reverse where Buddhas took incarnation as Kami to try and bring Buddhism to Japan. Both equally valid, both equally work. Um, I like this idea that some bodhisattva came down from heaven and incarnated in the form of twins in order to save the local region. I don't know where to go with it yet, though, because the idea of Kami works so much better here. We've got the physical look of the actual statue, of the actual butterflies. We know that somebody did something in the past who created the first crimson butterfly. Um, but yeah, this is basically the space. I wish there was more here. There is, but I can't talk about it yet. So, but I mean, I love this space. It's very chill, very calming. It's obviously much, much better kept than the Shinto shrine, which means that it was probably more important religiously from the perspective of the villagers. They came here and worshipped more often. So now we're going to go out the way we went out, and we're going to go and do the Ōsaka House. I wish there was more. I have an entire article though written about this, but knowing that it's available from minute one, it means I can talk about it there, so we're good. We're going to go out the exact way we came in, because I can't see in the dark. I do miss the torch. One more thing we have back here. You can tell this is a Buddhist space because you've got marker stones. Okay. So yeah, this is very interesting. It's a marker stone of some type. Now, I'd normally go, it's a cemetery stone, but this isn't a cemetery. So I'm not sure who's buried here. I can't read it well enough. I'm going to come back to this later and have a think. There's not really anything else down here. There is this back section, but it doesn't really lead anywhere. It's just, but yeah, obviously this is a much more important space because it's still being used. It's still being maintained. So that's going to be something for discussion later on. I'm glad they put it into the game. Because it's one of the things that, really, really didn't get in the original. Because the graphics and the size of the original DVD, it's a lot. And now I'm stuck with can't see. Hang on. Yeah, as with most horror games, this is a dark one. There we go. Right. Let's go and do the Ōsaka House, shall we? But yeah, we've got Buddhist lanterns. This storehouse area, not sure what that is, but we'll find out later. Because it's just kind of there. And when I say later, I do mean the finished game. Because I can't talk about anything outside of this demo for a while. I'm just glad that this was accessible, because it's fun. And it means that it's not just the 20-minute demo, which did hit yesterday for most places in the world because it was put out at a certain point after local midnight, which isn't which starts at 4 or 5 o'clock in Japan and what's it? So, yes. But let me pull up the map. So as you can see, we've got a much bigger map now. I do like the fact that you've got these spaces, and it tells you what's there. So, excuse me. But yeah, so if you need to remember where you're going and you can't exactly remember where it is, the pictures give you a nice little nudge. So, right, let's go find our sister. Yeah, so this is, we can't get anywhere down here, but that's fine. I do like this mix of an open world with chapter-based stuff. It just keeps you knowing where you're going within the game. Around, we've got these areas that just keep her out. I'm still kind of curious because obviously, hello. Yeah, we're gonna take a look. Come on then. So here's our first collectible. This is a news clipping. So we've got geological surveyor goes missing. A 26-year-old surveyor by the name of Makimura Mazami. Mazami Makimura has gone missing after being dispatched to conduct work at the construction site of the All Gods village, the Minakami Dam. The dam, which has been in the works since last year, is set to submerge parts of the area underwater. Makimura was sent to investigate the impact of construction of local historical sites and other sites concerned, but has yet to return after 5 days. Search for missing surveyor called off. The search for missing 26-year-old geological surveyor Makimura Mazumi Makimura, which began on the 4th day of this month, was officially called off yesterday after turning up no leads. Makimura, who had been missing for 10 days prior to the search cancellation, was surveying the Minakami Dam construction site. So we've got the little hint here where we tell us what to do, which is always good. So let's go in the house. Yeah, this place is knackered. Ah, poor Mayu. Mayu can obviously sense what's going on. That's Miyako. Suda Miyako. She's going to be our demo boss later on. The Hanged Twins. Those will also be relevant later on. Gate to Hell. Technically it's the Gate to Yomi. That's Masami. That's Sai. Oh dear, right, okay. So you don't have to hold hands, you can. It really doesn't, like, it's not relevant. So basically this house works like a puzzle. Let's go and save first. So basically here is the save mechanism. These are butterfly lanterns. So yeah, we're going to save. I'm actually glad this works because when I was trying to do this with Neo, it kept having a hissy fit at me. So this is good. So the points exchange, it will unlock in a bit. That basically is just where you use the points you've gained from once you have the camera to you can sell them for items, you can sell them for stickers, which is another mechanism we won't get into in the demo. And then you can also like buy charms but you have to save up quite a lot of points for those. This is something that appeared in the original game, so it's not like a new mechanic or anything. Outfits, again, that's a thing. I have the deluxe edition, so I have a couple of extra outfits, which is nice. These are purely cosmetic, but in the game, in the series, in fact, getting outfits has always been like a sign that you've completed the game. So the more times you complete the game, more access you have to stuff. But as a mechanic, anyone that's bought the pre-order bonuses or anyone that's bought the like deluxe digital edition gets extra outfits, so that's fine. So we're going to go back out again. So this is a very kind of like little room. And then basically each section kind of opens up, so the more we look around the house, the more... right, these guys are little Kokeshi dolls. And I love this. This is like Silent Hill F did as well. You've got an older twin and a younger twin, and it's like they're just there, put by somebody or something. You don't know who. Also, that box just screams. Well, in the original game, it screams boss encounter. So I was very kind of about it, but no. So, fortunately, the demo basically just focuses on exploring, getting the camera, and then using the camera to fight Tsunamiyako, who remains like the tutorial boss. So yeah, this cabinet, it has a blood stain on it. We can't do anything, but this is another mechanic that appeared in on the website. It's basically a new lens, and it'll let you open kind of blood-stained areas. But we can't do this, so it's fine. But yeah, it's one of the mechanics that was mentioned on the website, which is how I'm getting away with stuff, because I can't talk about stuff beyond the chapter. But if it's on the website and it's obvious that that's on the website, then yeah. So we've got the upstairs area. There's some shiny stuff over there, and I don't know how to get over there. I haven't found this out yet. But as you can see, there is an upstairs area, but I have no idea how you get to it. So actually, let me just. Yeah, there's no point looking at. So we've got a locked door here, and a lot of the time, if it says this, it means that it will open eventually. But there's a system, so you have to walk around, you have to explore before stuff happens. So here's Miyako, she's about to open the door. So we're gonna go up here. She's literally... Like, ghosts can open doors, which is a weird mechanic. So we've got a padlock, we need to find a key. Just ahead, actually, there we go. So this is a Myoga motif. Basically, Myoga is the Japanese form of ginger. And that's what it was in the original game. It was ginger. But this is a very specific kind of ginger. Which I like, because it means the translation is a tad more, like, authentic. I'm digging the authenticity. Yeah, Mio likes to tell you shouldn't do stuff. I very much believe in doing stuff and checking the doors. So, yeah, this is somewhere else we'll be able to get into later. Not in the demo. Like... In the original game, you can come back in here later, and you should. But we're just going to focus on this today. So, we've got the steps here. We've got that door there. Let's go back into the main room. So, the first thing we need to find is the camera. And as many of... that's the torch. Now we can see. So yeah, the game is organic. It gives you stuff, it shows you how to use it, it does things. So it's not... It does hold you by the hand, but not in a patronising way. So this should be the key. Oh, no, it's the book. So we've got another woman's notebook. The notebook appearing to belong to a woman who wandered into Miyakami village. This desperate-looking entry was written rather hastily. If anyone is reading this note, please come find me. I don't care who it is, just help me. I can't get out of the village. Save me. Stuff occasionally just falls. Because noise. This is a horror game. This entry discusses a story surrounding Minakami village that's said to have vanished long ago. I remember hearing stories about a village that disappeared from maps. Supposedly it was because on the day of the big festival a long time ago, tons of people got massacred. But it still exists, and the twin Jesus statues that can be found in the surrounding forest will lure lost people towards it. Once you pass through the gate at the entrance, that's the Dosojin stone and the Torii gate we passed earlier, there's no leaving it. From there, the night of the massacre continues, the sun never rises. In the midst of all that, I can hear the terrifying laugh of a woman echoing throughout the place. That's Kurosawa Sai. As the stories go, the only survivor in the village that night was, you guessed it, a lone woman. Yeah, that's definitely, well, that's Yai, but we surviving is a interesting form. So here we have a nice hanging scroll. These are typical in Japanese houses. They're just places to look for. You can crawl into here, and sometimes there's like goodies. But right now we're just having a look-see. So we heard a noise. We need to find out where that noise came from. So we're going to go back around this side. See if any of the doors unlock, because we need to find the camera. Okay, let's just try the front door, because I should have written like a how to do the demo list. I did not. I was too busy writing about the demo to remember to write a demo list. I'm not a walkthrough specialist, I'm not a guide writer, I am a lore person. Ah, there we go. Ah, so we've got the lock, but there we go. Right, you see this little statues? Yeah, okay, now I can talk about this. Great, that means I can put my side stories article up later. Right, so what this does, and we'll do this before we leave, is, if you can see these dolls, these creepy, okay, we've got the Kakeshi dolls, but the creepy Sadako dolls, basically. If you take a photo of these two in the same shot, in the same frame, you then get extra stickers. So we will do that once we have the camera. But for now, we have the shiny lock we need. So let's go and get. Ooh. And if it goes quiet like that, that usually means there's a ghost. The sound design remains absolutely gorgeous. Right, let's unlock this door. So find the lock, find the key, we're good. Just bear in mind though that sometimes ghosts will be trying to give you a heart attack. So, right, we've got some things in this room I need to talk about. So first, we've got the Obscura, Camera Obscura memo, the Shieki memo. The Camera Obscura is a the Camera Obscura is a photographic device designed by Dr. Aso Kunihiko Aso to capture the spiritual beings that are typically imperceptible to the human eye. Specifically, it's capable of revealing the following: past events containing residual emotional energy, invisible apparitions. Though I'm certain it can capture even more than that, which is just hinting at how the camera's going to upgrade. Photographing these supernatural phenomena that defy convention thought enables the wielder to achieve an effect akin to a traditional exorcism. However, this process also establishes a bond with the subject. As a result, judicious use of the camera obscura is required, otherwise the apparitions may take up the user. One can only imagine that this gadget can unearth if it was to photograph the hidden ceremony that takes place in Minakami village, as well as the locations that are central to the residents' faith, the Minakami faith. I believe I can speak for myself and the good doctor when I say that properties intrigue me. Seijiro Makabe. Makabe Seijiro, he's the folklorist. We're going to be talking about him a lot. Ah, look, here's the camera. Right, before we trigger the camera, I want to take a quick look at this. This is a Buddhist altar, and I've really positioned this badly, sorry. Let me just move Maya out of the way so we can have a look. Right. Buddhist altars effectively memorialise the dead. So we've got the little marker stone in the back left. We've got a sound bowl, you know, the one that's like the ding noise. We've got the offering plates. Basically, there's normally a picture as well, but this is a little Buddhist offering altar for the dead. Which I think is sweet, because it just shows that even in Minakami that there is still like a Buddhist thing going on, and they're still thinking about the dead, which I like. Right, so let's pick up the camera and trigger our first boss fight. And she's not even like the end boss, it's just a quick fight just to get you there. This is going to be dirty, this is going to be what's it. But as you can see, the camera's very, very, like, I love the design. And you can see the Buddhist pictograms, characters on the front there. This is Makabe talking. This is an area we went to in the original game, but we're also going to go to again later in the actual game. But it's nice to get a hint of it. Again, it's a sacred place. You can see the rope, you can see the streamers. And this is why you have to be careful when photographizing sacred sites. Yep. Mystical cameras, by the way, don't exist, but you know. And I just love it though, the design, the aesthetic. Camera Obscura is also a really, really good translation. I don't tend to give localization a lot of credit, but this game does it well. We've got Fatal Frame instead of Project Zero. We've got Shayeki becoming Camera Obscura. We've got Fatal Frame where you, So yeah, it's a really nice camera. I love the design. And we get to get a series of these photographs, which will help later on. And when there's this particular filter you can get, which will then like help you do this. This isn't new, by the way. This was in the original game. So we've got the mound. We've got some film. This is basically our unlimited stock, but it's very shit. So you're never going to get completely stuck, but you need to engage inventory management Resident Evil level, basically. To use what you have, save what you need, know the difference between a boss fight and when you can just bop a ghost. So we've got the shooting photography guide. I do like this because it gives us a cheap achievement, but it feels like worthy because we need to take a picture. Right, let's turn this off. There we go. So here is Mayu. In the game, this gives you a proper achievement, but I've already had it, so it doesn't work. So yeah, this is how we... basically, here's the viewfinder. I love the fact this takes the game from third person to first person. It just works really nicely. But, yeah, someone's there. There we go. Everyone ready for the jump scare? Sadako Eye. So basically it will show you how much you need to do damage, and then she'll come after you. That noise, that still triggers me from 20 years ago. As you can see, she is a really easy kill if you know what you're doing. This fight is meant to be really down and dirty. It's meant to be... That's not the final boss, that's just Miyako basically just getting bopped for 30 seconds. There is an issue here with every ghost in this game can't technically be vanquished. You can get rid of them for 20 minutes, and you can fight them in various stages, but because of how the game works, it's very much a case of... Okay, here we got the willpower stuff. The willpower is the blue one, by the way. The green is the health. Raids is just the translation for Onryo, which means vengeful ghost. There's 3 types in the game. We're only going to talk about the wraiths today, though. So, we're now going to help Mio up, because we need to figure out how to get our health back. So this is a nice in-game way of being helpful, but also watching as the stats go back to normal. Here we go, see? We've gotten most of our health and most of our willpower back. So I'm just going to not hold a hand because I'm a horrible sister. So we've got the camera, and as you can hear, stuff's happening, which means we should be able to access new places. It's now telling us to do the thing, the protection mechanic. I do use it, I just don't like to use it just because it gives me flashbacks to, like, Ico, which I love as a game, still stuck. But it does slow you down a little bit. So, and if a ghost is going to get her, it'll be during the fight rather than now, so. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to just quickly clear up the stuff. So, we're going to go back into the room here. We're going to do the quick photography thing of the 2 sisters. There we go. Now I can talk about this, yay. So you see how this is glowing blue? It's basically just going, this is a thing you need to do. It'll do it for this, but it will also do it for other things like ghosts you need to catch. So as you can see, we've got the 2 ghosts. Those 2, oh, it's just such a nice little thing. Which actually works in nicely because now we can do the point exchange, so you can see what you do with the points. Oh, you can't, okay. Well, at least you saw the 2 sisters, so that works. Let me just double check if there's nothing in here, because... there is. Another notebook. Now, this mechanic will occasionally involve ghosts grabbing you, but it shouldn't happen in here. I don't like the mechanic where they grab you. It annoys me. 3rd notebook. Sometimes I sense a figure walking near the window outside. It's someone holding a torch, whispering about something as they walk along the road. It sounds like they're looking for somebody. I don't know who it is, but I know it's not me? No, no, it's not Mazami. Okay. So yeah, there's nothing in that box. Even though anyone that played the game will be like, there's something in that box. Okay, these are Daruma dolls. Basically, you buy them, they're made of papier-mâché. They don't weigh a lot. And then you dot one of the eyes, I think it's usually the left one, when you make a wish. And then when your wish comes true, you dot the second one. And I have several of these. They are lovely. Now, this is trying to tell me that I need to do something with this, but I don't have the right lens to do it, so we're not going to do anything today. I also can hear that noise, so let's quickly just save the game. Just for the sake of, in case we die. We shouldn't die. Right. If you ever get lost, just scan the place with the thing, because there's usually a ghost that's telling you where to go, or just appearing for like 3 milliseconds as a way of going, it's this way! Okay. So, let's see what we can find. So this room is now open. Oh no, we were in here a second ago. We can't get through here, so... But again, the house does open up later on, so it's very much, if you've been somewhere in the early chapter, always go and have another look later on, just because you never know what's going to become relevant later on. Always backtrack, always have a look around. Shut the door again, because that should trigger something. Yeah. So, Miyako is basically... There we go. There we go. Ah, crap, missed her. Yeah, so you've got like a couple of seconds to catch her, which is great if you miss the thing, and then... But she's now going to open that door for us, which is nice of her. And we get another shiny to pick up. So, how long have I been in this village now? I have no idea. The sun never rises, it's always night. I hate the dark. I can feel it grinding me inside. I want to leave. I feel bad for her because she didn't do anything. She really didn't. She just walked in and then she got stuck. There she is. As you can see, you've got that blue... There's two basically forms. There's the ghost that you fight and the ghost that you just observe. And they're almost like split personalities. And you basically catch them. She's not trying to hurt you, she's just lost. And that's an echo of her resentment, her loneliness, her sorrow. But she's not trying to physically hurt you when she's doing this. So if you see ghosts like that, just always photograph them, because here's another unlockable thing. It's always good to photograph them because there is a spirit list, which I don't think we can access. Here are some of the other photos, by the way. So you can see, look, there's an entrance in the shrine, the temple we went to. That's the scary mound. There's other areas. There's the hill, the veranda in the back of the house. These are basically for later in the game where they will help you find places. So we've got files. We've got the wraiths. We've got twin dolls, which is what we've already picked up. They don't give you much by way of points, but it's nice to have. We've got the spectres, the beckoning woman. That's Miyako. Now the translation for these I go into on my blog, so if you want to know what these mean, they're actually pretty close in terms of translations. So they did a good job. Wraiths is Onryo, twin dolls is Futagamiko, spectres is like earthbound ghosts, and then there's one other one as well. Documents, in case you want to read them and you didn't read them originally, and info as well, which is just the tutorial stuff. So we've got the play record, which basically tells you all of the stuff, how many times you died, basically. The spirit list is the one we're looking at, where you need to get all of these. I think there's an achievement associated with it. There should be. Same with the twin dolls and the documents. So the more you look at, the more you try to do, the more you're going to get stuff. And then we've got our little like sections where it tells you about what's going on, which I like. Photo mode options, and then the map. The camera obscura will unlock in the full game. That's where you power up, put points and everything. You get little special things. You can power up your cameras. So that it's all tied together beautifully. Oh dear, she's unraveling. I can't move anymore. I'll just stay here. I know Mazami will come back to me. He just needs to find out the village first. If Mazami comes back, I'm going. Blankness. He came back. That's just chilling because it leads directly into the murder of herself that we saw earlier on. It's just heartbreaking. Koibito is boyfriend. It's a person that you love. I just love this. I really do. Oh, she's terrifying when she does this. She's so terrifying when she does this. Yep. Right, time to fight her. See, she's gone from being a blue ghost to being a, oh dear lord, you really don't want to fight her, terrifying ghost. Let's give her a go. Okay, they don't have any other film. So this is going to teach us how to fight properly. Now, the idea for this is really simple. Look straight at her, wait patiently. When you see that white thing doing its thing, then you fire. I recommend moving out of the way too, which actually helps. Thing is, she's not actually angry at you, she's just really scared. Now, the only issue here is that line, see? There's a new mechanic in the game, which will kick in a minute, which basically means that if you hit them and you don't do it fast enough, she will literally just like turn into an angry red ghost, which makes her a lot more harder to deal with. Shit, I missed that one. This is basically holding your nerve until the point where you can catch her. So it's telling us about Shutter Chance, which is great, except the film is still very much slowed to too low. There. Yeah, stop it. So it's telling you about evading and shaking them off, basically. And she will periodically go after Neo as well. But it's fine, we're just going to take her as much as we can. I need to get some willpower, which is not going to happen. The problem with these fights is it is basically you versus your health. Because the camera is so weak, the film is so weak at this stage, that you really can't do much apart from trying your hardest to get her. I recommend running into ghosts wherever possible, but doing it in a way where you already know their tactics. Because she's quite strong. And she likes to grab you. And one more and she'll get her. Also, she will periodically go for Mayo as well, which we don't want to go for Mayo. There we go. Okay. More vision tanks. Darn. Bye. Yeah, so this is basically nearly the end of the demo. So we can just pick up a couple of extra things. That's the herbal medicine, which is the basic way to heal. Again, everything is very rare, very finite, so grab as much as you can. There's also the Spirit Stone radio, which I'm going to grab over here. And that's creepy when it does it. Right. So the Spirit Stone radio is the other mechanic that you can use in the game. It doesn't do anything in terms of, like, fighting stuff. It's more a lore exposition generator. You pick up crystals, which you can also use as part of the, like, amulets. This is the amulet. And then you can basically, like, get a thing of their thoughts. So we'll do it for Maya's now. Yeah. It's very hard to hear, in all honesty. And I say that as someone with very good hearing. Right. At this point, your sister is still herself, but she's going to do this a lot. Ah, okay. There we go. Well, that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm now going to go and fiddle with this so I can upload it later. But I really hope you enjoyed what was my first LoreTalk, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again when the the full game comes out on the 12th of March. Again, I've been playing this thanks very much to Koei Tecmo. My review will be going up shortly before the embargo drops, shortly before release, and then from the launch day we should be doing this semi-regularly. I'm not sure on the schedule yet, but I do want to talk about it and I do want to go through the full game. So I'm Asher Barden, thanks for coming to LoreTalk, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Alright, bye folks, have fun.